Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. I can see. Hello, John, Jack, B. Nice to see you in the chat there. Let's get this thing going. I just need to sort my life out. Here we are. Welcome in. So, we've got an action-packed live drum lesson here. We're going to be looking at some fill ideas. Gonna go through basically 5 main ways we can create really cool fills. We're going to go through them slowly. If you're a beginner drummer, then this is going to give you loads of material to work from. But if you've been playing for longer, you're more intermediate or maybe more of an advanced drummer, there's going to be some ideas here. You can take it away as well. So we can apply this whatever level you are at. So I'm really excited to do this because we do these every week inside the Total Drummer Academy. Or we just get a chance to go deep on whatever, a different topic for every month. And we get to go really deep in there and explore it. And today I'm doing it with you guys. So a little bit scary, actually. I'm hoping nothing goes wrong. Nothing falls apart. And that you get loads of value from this. So there is some sheet music here. Just click. I'm going to put it on the screen, but also on this page, there's a link below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click through the link in the description as well, and you can grab that sheet music for free, so that after this lesson's over, you can work on these ideas and really take them to a good level. If you are here and you're on the website page, say hello. If you've got any questions, ask them. I'll try and answer them either as we go, or I'll come back to them at the end if I miss them. And I'm just going to tell you, if you love this and you want some more, you can actually join us in the Total Drum Academy. There's a link below on the page as well, and there's a really fun thing that's just available through here for this short period of time, where you can get a reward as well. It's a bit of fun, a bit of a game. But let's get right into this. I am going to chuck. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. Sheet music is coming right up here. I'm going to keep an eye if anyone asks any questions there. Cool. So yeah, so we want to do these 5, tackle these kind of 5 areas of drum fills. And the idea is, so you'll have examples. We're learning examples. I'll go through them slowly with you today. I'll show you how to apply them. But as well as that, I'm hoping this just gives you freedom to make up a million fills. So you can take all of these ideas and improvise them. And at the end of this, after we've gone through them, I'll kind of show you how you can do that, so you can see the steps of progression. Okay, so the first topic, and by the way, a lot of this stuff, I'm just going to be upfront about this, like most things in drums. I know we have nice kind of clickbaity titles and all of that, but most stuff isn't that, not that much is new. So I'm not going to go through anything today that's going to like blow your head off where you think, whoa, that's never been done before. These are just some really core principles. When you're creating fills, these are the main things you could be thinking about. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is actually subdivisions. So these are your different note values, different speeds of notes. So, and this actually acts as a nice warm-up for us as well. By the way, with these lessons, I want you to play along with me. So if you're on a drum kit, cool, that's nice and easy, do that. If you're not on a drum kit, body percussion, stomp your foot on the floor for a bass drum, play on your legs, play on the table, whatever it is. Just actually physically go through these with me. So first up, we're just going to do some 8th notes, and they last for half a beat each. You can see it on the screen. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. All right. So when we're playing a standard 8 beat, those are our 8th notes on the hi-hat there. So this is going at the same speed as those notes on the hi-hat. Okay, so another very common note value I want to bring into this is 16th notes. They're twice as fast as 8th notes. They last for a quarter of a beat each. And if you're not familiar with this, the way we usually count them is 1 E and A. So the 8th notes were 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Well, here we put an E and an A between those, so we get 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. 1, typically played as single stroke, so right, left, 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 right, left. Again, a nice warm up. Now, obviously, the more you've worked on your technique, you know, you've got those fingers working, you've got a nice loose grip, nice fulcrum there, the quicker you can play your single stroke rolls, so the faster you can apply this stuff to fills. We're gonna keep it nice and slow today so everyone can follow along. And then the last one I want to look at today is eighth note triplets. So it's 3 evenly spaced notes in a beat. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And because it's an odd number, 3, when we're playing single strokes, that starting hand changes for each beat. So right, left, 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 right, left. Okay, so I'll say nothing groundbreaking there. We've got eighth notes, we've got 16th notes, we've got triplets. Now, just those alone, just sticking on the snare drum, if you're playing an 8 beat, so we've got eighth note hi-hats, just to go into a triplet fill, that can be interesting because the triplets groups 3 notes, eighth notes on the hi-hat, 2 notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. So if you haven't done that before, that can be really interesting, just playing triplets coming out of an 8 beat. Okay, so we've kind of we've set up our 3 subdivisions we're going to use, and now I actually want to mix them up and get a bit interesting, because if we did all 8th notes, bit boring, all 16th notes, bit boring, all triplets, a bit boring. So we use those fills, they work, but I want to get it more interesting. So what we're going to do here, if you're not familiar with sight reading, I'm going to count through this. You'll hear me play it as well. But we've actually got 16th notes in here. We've got 8th notes, and we've got 8th note triplets. So all the subdivisions we just worked on. Excuse me. And I'm going to move quite fast through all this stuff, but we're going to look at each block. So the first beat 1 is 3 notes. It's 2 16ths and an 8th note, and it's 1 E and. You might play it as right, left, right. And then if we're going to beat 2, it's 2 and, it's 2 8th notes, so go 2 and, so 1 and 2 together, 1 E and 2 and. All right, 1 E and 2 and, ba ba ba, boom, boom. But then we're going into an 8th note triplet. So to put beats 1 to 3 together, 1 E and 2 and 3 triplet, 1 E and 2 and 3 triplet. So that's interesting now because we're going from 8th notes into triplets. 1 E and 2 and 3 triplet. And then for the end, we're going back to 16th notes. So the whole bar, 1 E and 2 and 3 triplet, 4 E and A. 1 E and 2 and 3 triplet, 4 E and A. 1 E and 2 and. All right, so if we put that with a groove, that can start to sound interesting. So. Okay, we're just on the snare drum now, all at the same volume. All we're varying is the rate of the speed of those notes by using different subdivisions. So, you know, the combinations, just with triplets, 2 beats in a bar, sorry, 8th notes, 2 beats in a bar, triplets, 3, what am I talking about? 8th notes, 2 notes in a beat, thank you, triplets, 3 notes in a beat, and 16th notes, 4 notes in a beat. So 2, 3, and 4, just with those combinations, imagine how many different things you could come up with. So we're going to look at one more of these, but I just want you to know there are thousands that you can come up with. So here at the beginning, go 1 and A. 1 and A. So just to compare it, The previous one we went 1 E and. We had the 2/16, then the 8th. Now we've got the 8th, which is longer than the 2/16. So it's 1 and A. And we come out of that into an 8th note triplet. So you go 1 and a 2 triplet. 1 and a 2 triplet. 1 and a. Then we're going to go into 3E and a 4. So we go 1 and a 2 triplet, 3E and a 4. I'm going to loop it. 1 and a 2 triplet, 3E and a 4. Okay, kind of interesting. So if we play it for beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2 triplet, 4. Okay, cool. So there's a lot going on there rhythmically. Again, just on the snare drum, all at the same volume, just changing the subdivisions. So what I love to do with this stuff is you could write out so many different combinations using your 16-inch triplets, 8th notes. So that's a nice approach to come up with new ideas. Have it written out like the one you've got on the screen right now. You could do your own like that. Hundreds, thousands of combinations. But what's really cool, where we want to get to eventually with this stuff, is to just be able to flow, just to improvise it. So you get there, you get to your feel, right? I don't know what I'm going to play. Let's start off the next one. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew it would be okay. I'll try a different one. Let's start with 16ths this time. I'm using the same ingredients as before, just in a different order, mixing it around a bit. You don't need to think of it in advance. You can just get to the point where it can happen. If you're not there yet, it might seem like that's just an impossible thing, but it will happen. Just learn as many combinations as you can and just kind of force yourself out of the comfort zone. There's lots of times people learn and they want their sheet music here. They want their predetermined thing they're going to play. It's a script to follow, and actually taking that script away is quite scary, but it's really, really important. So force yourself to do it. Even just at home when no one's listening, people get a bit nervous about doing it. Kind of the safety net's been removed, but force yourself to do it. Once you get comfortable with it, it's the most fun way to play drums. Way more fun than being told what to play. So we're going to move on now to the next thing, which is to add rudiments in there. Now, rudiments could be, I mean, we could do anything. We do, you can make up cool fills using paradiddles. You can do that stuff all day long, paradiddles, any rudiment, you can use it as a fill. So if you ever thought, why do I have to learn those rudiments? Like, people always talk about rudiments. Why do I have to do them? They're boring. They just give you so much vocabulary to use around the drums and to make your drum really interesting. Today, we're just going to look at a couple of things. One is the flam. If you don't know it, it's just one note being played just before the other. Just to avoid this being like a 10-hour lesson, we're not going to go super deep into technique or anything like that, but it's, start with one stick lower than the other, and the lower stick hits first. You can play these kind of wide. That's too wide, but, and you can play them really close together. Don't hit exactly together, because that's not a flam. It just chokes out the drum. So have a bit of space between them, but it's not an exact science how much. Some drummers play wider, some a bit narrower. Some, if you can get the control so you could choose how wide it is, that's cool. You can come up with different sounds, a bit fatter if it's wider, or closer is a bit tighter. Whatever you want, but that's our flam. Ideally, you can play it with both hands as the highest hand. Okay, have a few more goes of that whilst I scroll us down, because the other rudiment we're going to look at, kind of similar, is the humble drag. It looks similar on the page, but can you see through that little note? It's got a 2 lines through that small note, through the stem. It's because the first note in the flam, that first little note was just a single note. Here, it's it's a double note, it's 2. And what I'm doing there is it's very, very low to the drum head. There's no backlift at all, very low. And for me, I don't even use those back fingers for this. I've just used a pinch of that fulcrum. And it's just 2 notes. I'm going to be honest with you, right? If you did... So I should just say, before I be honest with you, I should say this. It's those 2 little notes followed by the accent with the other hand. I'm going to be honest with you. If you did 3 notes, that's a bit longer. You're probably not going to be arrested, but you're aiming for 2. Okay, and then followed by the accent. And if you need to learn this, because they are 2 quite different techniques. One stick is higher up, one's so low it's almost touching the drum head. I like to get people to learn it by just doing the buzz bit first, and then leave as much space as you want, then do an accent. Okay, and as you get comfortable, you can close the gap between the 2 things. Until there's no air between them, it just leads straight into it. Again, it'd be good to be able to play either hand as the leading hand. Okay, the reason for that gap thing is that when people try and do it together, what happens is, instead of one stick being really low and one being much higher, they kind of end up at the same height, doing the same thing, and it ends up just being like a messy flam. So that separation allows you to just think about the 2 very different notes one at a time. So we go to buzz, the 2-note buzz bit, and then the accent. And by the time you get to put them together, you're really comfortable with, you know, what each hand is doing. Anyway, there's your 2 rudiments. We can't go too deep. First fill, simple, powerful, effective. Flam, bass. Bass. Flam bass, flam bass, flam bass, flam bass. Really simple. I know if you're new to this, you can kind of trip yourself up if you go too fast. So go at the speed that works for you. Let's just put it together with a beat. Now, you know, earlier I was talking about the flams can be wider, so this could work as well if you make them into almost, well, you could widen them, but you could actually just separate them a bit and make them more like 16th notes to get this sort of sound. You know, so play around with that. Really simple fill, but really effective. And that's just a nice way to start incorporating flams into your fills. But I want to take that pattern and make it slightly more interesting, right? So here, we're going to do a 3-3-2 phrasing. So we're still just playing flams and bass drums. Still just flams and bass drums. But we're going to do 3 notes, then 2 notes. And that 3 is going to be a flam, then 2 bass drums, all evenly spaced, 1 and 2. And we're going to do that again. So we've got a 3-note phrase. We're playing it twice. 3 times 2 is 6. Now we're in 8th notes here, so we've got 8 notes in the bar. So it leaves us at the end with 2 notes to fill up. So we're just going to do a flam bass at the end. So that's where the 3, 3, and then the 2 comes from. Flam bass is our 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Flam bass, bass, flam bass, bass, flam bass. So just try it really slow. Say, if you're not at the kit, body percussion. Just tap it out, get used to it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and cool. So a little bit more interesting than That is also a cool fill. You can use that. You'll hear that in songs. But this one is also cool. So I'll put this with the drum beat. Nice, that nice phrase of like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 emphasizes the 1, the 2 and the 4. It's a cool fill. You can have some fun with this, by the way. Switch it up however you want. You've got 8 notes to play with in 8th notes, so you can group it however you want. Flams, bass drums. You know, you could do 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 as an example. All sorts of options. So you can really have some fun and get creative. We're just using the snare and the bass, but there's still loads of options for you there. Okay, and the next one of these. Excuse me, I've got a tickle. Right, I'll tickle in the throat. So, triplets. We looked at some triplets in the subdivisions earlier. Do you see how we're starting to bring different things together already? So different subdivisions now. Chucking rudiments in there. By the end of this lesson, we'll kind of put it all together, throw it all in the pot, see what comes up. So, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. Now, the reason I've ended it just with a flam, like this quarter note at the end, is because if we went 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, we finish with 2 bass drums, but then as we come back to our groove, we're going to do another bass. So you end up with 3 bass drums in a row. 4 triplet, 1. It's pretty cool, but it is difficult. If you're playing at a speed, that's going to be difficult. So I'm going to finish it just with a quarter note flam. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. All right. So the bass drum's working hard here. So as you bring the speed up, you're going to notice your right foot. If you're playing bass drum, your right foot, your bass drum foot is going to be your limitation as to how fast you can go with this. So I'm going to play it, and we're going to play it with an 8th note groove, because then we've got that triplet thing, you know, going against the 8th notes in the groove. I talked about that a little bit earlier, so it's a bit of that effect. So it's going to be quite cool. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet. I'll do it this beat. So the beat's going to go 1 and 2 and 3. All right, and if I just play that again softer so I can count you through that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. All right, so we've used some flams there, all good. Lots of combinations you can do with that. Now we're going to use the drag. And actually we're going to start moving around the kit a little bit here. So what we're going to do, let's just look at this fill without the drag, without the buzzy little drag bit at the beginning. So the main notes in this fill go 3 and 4 E and. It starts on beat 3. Fills don't have to last for the whole bar. This one starts on beat 3, lasts for half a bar. So you've got 2 rests at the beginning, there, and there. So that's beats 1 and 2. So there's nothing there right now. We're going to fill it with groove in a minute, but right now there's nothing. So we're going to come in on beat 3, and we're going to go 3 and 4 E and. And we're going to play that like this. We're going to go 3 and 4 E and. 3 and 4 E and. Classic feel, you hear it all over the place. In Motown songs, in rock, everywhere. Sometimes in England, people might count this. I've heard it counted like this since I was a kid. Flats in Dagenham. There's probably loads of ways to count this. I've heard Americans count as Pat Boone, Debbie Boone. I think those are the right names. You can make up whatever phrasing you want for that, as long as it's flat sin, dagadum, pat boom, chakadoom. All right. Whatever floats your boat. I'm going to count it as 3 and 40 and 3 and 40 and 3 and 40 and 3 and 40 and. There's your core fill. But we're going to spice it up because we're going to do a drag on that first note. So because I've been going right, right. You do whatever you want, but because I'm doing right, right, I'm therefore going to do the drag bit in my left hand. So I go. So 3 and 3 and 3 and. All right. 2, 3, 4. All right. So now I'm putting it with a beat. I'm going to do a groove over those two rests for beats 1 and 2. So I go like 1 and 2 and 3 and 40 and 1 and 2, 3 and 40 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 40 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Listen to it a bit quicker. Alright, so let's just hear. It's a subtle thing adding the drag, but it's a cool thing. I'm going to play the fill twice without a drag on at the beginning, and twice with it, just so you can hear the difference. It's not huge, so you can just hear what effect it has. Alright, doesn't completely change it. It's just an embellishment. But you know what? These little embellishments really elevate your drumming. It takes you to that next level. So yeah, the fill works just as well without the drag. But the drag is cool. It just gives it a little bit more texture. It's a bit richer. It's just a bit more going on. You will garner more respect as you walk through the streets if people know that you can put a drag into your fills. The next one, very similar. So we're going to start on beat 3. So the rhythm is all snare drum until the last note is going to be down on the floor tom. The rhythm without the drag aspect is just 3E, 4E, and. Now, for a right-handed drummer, a good stick in here would be right, left, left. Right, because if you did a single strip roll, you'd go right, left, right, left. Well, we're taking out the and, so 1E and take out the and, 1E and which leaves us with right, left, left. Then 40 and 4E and. So you go 3E, 4E and 3E, 4E and. Now I'm going to put the drag back in. 3E, 4E and 3E, 4. 3E, 4E and. One, two, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so that is just adding that drag into a couple of fills, and again, you could put this into any fill you like. Now, is this making sense for you guys? Let me know if I need to slow things down or whatever. If you've got any questions, hopefully it's all making sense. But yeah, take any fill that you already know and just drag into the first note. It's going to be a bit difficult and a bit weird doing a drag on a tom. But if the first note's on a snare, drag it up. Add a drag. And if you're at the drum kit now, just try it. Get your favourite fill, your go-to fill, the one that you sit down and can just play in your sleep. Put a drag on the first note. See how it sounds. And obviously, if you've never done a drag before, if you've never heard of a drag, hopefully, today, you need to practice the drag. You understand the importance. Now, the next thing, again, nothing groundbreaking, but really important and something that's often missed out by drummers. So, dynamics. Soft, loud, quiet, are different volumes. A dynamic drummer is an awesome drummer. A lot of drummers have one volume and it's really, really loud. And that's cool in some scenarios, but we need to be able to, we need to do more than just that. So being able to play really soft is also important, and everything in between, but also mix it up. So we're not just like one volume and then another volume. We're dynamic. We're dynamic people, and we can go between it all and create some really interesting stuff. So this first one here, and actually do I need to pull it down a bit? I'm going to put it down a little bit. The first one is simply a crescendo. Crescendo. And it's written with that thing underneath. If you haven't seen it before, it's two lines. They start together and they get further apart. When they're together, that's the quiet end. When they're further apart, that's the loud end. So we're going from quiet to loud, nice and evenly. Right, now, the way I like to think about this, rather than thinking of loud and soft, I actually like to think of the start position. So for the soft bit, start really low. No back lift, just really low. Because you can't play loud from really low if there's no back lift. Just try it now. A little single strut roll. Go as slow as you want. And we just want to keep it really low. Now, as we get higher, the volume increases. It just does. We don't have to think about hitting it harder. The volume just does increase as we get higher. So start really low. 1 and a 2 and by the end, you're coming from a much higher height, and the volume will increase. 1 and a 2 Okay. So I'm not really right now thinking about any other techniques where I'm using fingers or wrist or my arms. Just think about those starting heights. That's a crescendo. Now that alone in the field can sound cool, but let's just do it without a 16th note fill, single strut rolls, 16th notes, 1 and a 2 and all the same volume. All right, cool. It works. It has a place in the world, but it's a bit boring. Now, with a crescendo, so even now, still on the snare, same speed, same note values, same sticky pattern, just the volume changing. It's a crescendo. Suddenly it's doing something, right? It's sounding interesting. I want to now look at a decrescendo or diminuendo. It's basically the opposite. So we start with the lines further apart. It's loud and it gets quiet. So again, just reverse that starting position. And now we're going to start high and we're going to end up lower. So in a beat. Ooh, now you might think, why do I need that? What's the point of all of this? But really, I think, an obvious way you might use these two types of dynamics is you're playing a verse, it's quiet. That's a nice little cross stick going on. But we're coming up to the chorus. The chorus is loud. It's going to be a big chorus. I've got to get us there. So the crescendo takes the band and the listener up to that noisy chorus. But what about at the end of the noisy chorus? We're coming back down to a quiet verse. So that's where we might do the diminuendo. So that's where we might bring it back down. Quite an interesting exercise, quite a useful exercise to just really get the control of these. It's just to cycle those last two exercises. So you go crescendo up and then back down diminuendo. So you're going from your quiet to your loud and going between them. So let's just try it after 4. 1. So that's an interesting one just to kind of get used to all the different dynamics. and develop your control. But we don't always want to just do, like one dynamic or go in that straight line from quiet to loud. Sometimes it's nice to mix it up. So what we're going to do here, we're going to bring in some accents. We're going to go right, left, single straight roll. We're going to do loud, loud. So it's a loud right, a loud left, then a soft right, left. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a loud, loud, soft, soft, loud, loud, soft, soft, loud, loud. Okay. Now, that's a fun one. If I play that quicker and play it as a fill with a beat, sounds quite interesting. You know, so we're still just playing 16th notes. We're still just playing right, left, but suddenly like you know, you've got something going on there, sounding cool. And here we're going to do the same type of thing, but actually now the accent pattern, we're going to do 2 louds, 4 softs. 2 loud, 4 softs. 2 loud, 2 softs. This actually creates a very similar phrasing to the thing we did earlier, where we went flam, bass, bass, flam, bass, bass, flam, bass. That 3-3-2 went out 6-6-4 because we're playing 16th notes, but check it out. Can you hear it? Still that like it's still emphasizing the same positions. So to play that slow, we go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So if I put that with a groove. All right, so the key to this is the dynamics. The dynamics. If there's not much contrast between the two volumes, it kind of loses the effect. The trickiest one is the ghost notes, the quiet notes. They're not written as ghost notes, but we've got our accents. They're written as accents with the arrow above it. So we're presuming all the other notes are ghost notes, quiet notes. You've got to get those quiet. If they're not that quiet, this just doesn't sound anywhere near as effective. All right, we've got 2 more accent patterns. Just to let you know, I know you've got a life to get on with. I'll give you a little preview, right? After this, what we got? We're going to... Right, after this, we've got a couple more things. So we've got 2 quick accent patterns we're going to look at. And then we've got 2 other sort of focal points. And then you're free to get on with your lives, but hopefully you'll be armed with tons of stuff you can do with fills. And we're going to put it all together at the end. Right, so this one, a bit more involved here. We're going to do 1 E and a 2 E and a. So that's the first half. And so the accents are on the right, left. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Second half's nearly the same, but it goes 3 E and a 4 E and a. So it just adds an extra right-handed accent at the end. 3 E and a 4 E and a. Hoba. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Right, I'll do it with a beat. Starting to get interesting. We're just using dynamics. But you could, the combinations are numerous. You can come up with different fills every time, just playing 16th notes on the snare drum. Last one. Is it last one of these? Isn't it? It is. Yeah. So here, interesting one. We're going right, left, right. So that's the beginning. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Right, left, right. And in the second half, we go 3, E, and 4. So that's 3, E, and 4. So that's 2 right hands there. So the whole lot. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. 1. 1 E and 2 E and 3. So that's a cool feel. You know, it starts to get interesting, doesn't it? You can kind of sing that bat, 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 get, gap. Again, just accents. So, by the way, just thinking before we move on, just accents, snare drum, 16th notes, no other parameters being changed. You could come up with at least 1,000 fills. A good exercise once you get comfortable with this is to just do a bar of groove, bar of fill, bar of groove, bar of fill. Just alternate. Every time you get to the fill, you do a different accent pattern. I'll do a blast now. I'll just do like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? You could go on all day like that. So it's just, again, building the confidence. If you're not used to that sort of thing, or you haven't done it before, start really slow. Learn some ideas first. Learn the ones we've just covered. Make up some of your own. And then you can get to the point where you can just flow. Also, it's nice. You can kind of sing a pattern and then play it. So like, bam, 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 bam. Is that bam, bam, bam? That's not the one we just did, is it? So bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. You know, so you can just kind of sing a thing and then just try and improvise and play it. See, it's not easy at first. You have to work at it, but you will get there. And I'm just sticking with single strokes at the moment. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's getting used to either hand doing the accent and just building it up. But you just got to work at it. You'll get there. Now, the next thing, we've got 2 more things to look at. The next one is using bass drums in fills. Now, we've already done this. So it's that overlap thing that I've said about all these things start to overlap. So we've already done a bit of bass drums in there, but now that's the focal point. It's really cool. Bass drums are often forgotten about for fills. So everyone goes like, you know, just around like that. But actually, chucking a bass drum in is really, really interesting. So the first one is just going to be right, left, and then 2 kicks. The kick is working hardest. That leg, that foot of yours is working hardest. That's going to be your limitation as to how fast you can go. All right. And as we finish here with 2 bass drums, again, coming back to your groove will mean there's 3 in a row. And a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So just watch out for that again. Bum, bum, bum. The workaround is you could just do a flam on beat 4 like we did earlier. 1 and a 2 and 1. That's the workaround. But yeah, so work that up slowly. Build it up slowly. It's a really interesting feel. Now we're gonna just develop that idea. We're gonna go one step further now, and we're gonna actually revisit our old friend, the phrasing. Oh no, we're not. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's gonna be the next one. A little preview. Before we revisit our old friend, we're gonna do this one, which is gonna go. It's like the one we just did, but we've replaced the first kick with the right hand. So we're gonna go right, left, right, kick. So the kick's on the hour. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. One E and a 2 E and a 3. Right, so that's a nice one. The kick being on the hour gives it kind of a nice syncopate feel. And as you come back into your beat, you'll have to go, oh, 1, bass, bass. Finishes with bass, comes back into the groove of the bass. Anyway, let's revisit our, is it this one? Yeah, let's revisit our old friend. So this is that phrasing we did earlier. So we started off by going, yeah, and then we did it with accents. Went, well, again here, but now we're going. So it's still starting the phrase every time on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll play the 3 together. So it's like 3 different ways of really using the same phrase in there. Right, so let's look at this slowly. So we're going to go 4 hands, 2 kicks, 4 hands, 2 kicks, and then just 4 hands. One E and a 2 E and a 3 E. This can sound nice. Shaka-digga-digga, shaka-digga-digga, shaka-digga, boom. All right, so again, just all this stuff, learn it slow, build it up, and just chucking ideas at you. And this is the last one of these. So just as I said, I said at the beginning, I'm going to move fast. There's a lot to cover. And this is the last bass drum one. Then we've got one more strategy or one more idea to focus on. All right, so this is going to be 3-note phrasing with right, left, so 2 hands, then a kick. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So let's repeat that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. Now, if we play that 4 times, 3 notes played 4 times, 3 times 4 is 12, right? So that takes up, we've got 4 16th notes in each beat. So 12 is beats 1, 2, and 3. So 3 beats full of 16th notes. So then what we do at the end, just to fill up the bar, the last beat is 4 16th notes on the snare. So we'll go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. And then we go 4 E and a. So the best way to count this is to feel it within the beats, like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That's the best way. You want to get there eventually, but if that's a bit tricky at the moment, because the phrasing here, what makes this interesting is your 3-note phrasing overlaid on 4-note phrasing of 16th notes. It makes it kind of tricky to feel it that way. So if you want to count it as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine whilst you're learning it. Whatever gets you to where you need to be with this. So when we do it with the groove, that's how it works. So that's where it starts to sound quite interesting, doesn't it? So it's if it's got a bit of an in the air tonight flavour about it, it's because it's the same. You know, it's the same. It's the same emphasis, same phrasing in there. So that's that. Work on it slowly, build it up. But I want to move on to the final thing now, which is orchestrations. We've dabbled with this today. Again, it's that overlapping thing. But check this out, right? So by orchestration, I just mean moving around the kit. We've focused a lot on just snare drum and bass drum today. So dabbled a bit with moving around the kit, mostly snare and bass. So for each of the things we've looked at, the combinations are huge. If we just focused on one thing, you know, we started off with note values, just changing the note values, so many combinations, just changing the note value on the snare, adding a bass drum, so many combinations, adding dynamics, so many combinations. And now, moving it around the kit, the combinations just, poof, they explode. We've got millions of combinations out, and then we start to put all this stuff together, and basically, it's endless. You never need to play the same fill twice. I mean, you can, there's nothing wrong with it, but the point is there's so many options available to you with all these different ways of coming at the vocabulary that you've got, these different vocabulary ideas that you build up. So what I want to look at here is, well, let's just first of all look at this thing, the notation you see there. We've got eighth notes, we've got 16th notes, we've got triplets, we've got a quarter note at the end, you've got a flam at the end, we've got bass drums in there, and we've got some toms in there. So we're using, is that all of the things? So what do we do? Note values, yeah. Oh, tell you what we haven't got in here. Haven't got any dynamics. But you could add dynamics in here. But other than that, it's incorporating all of the things we've looked at in today's lesson. Timing wise, first of all, 1 and a 2 triplet, 3 E and a 4. 1 and a 2 triplet, 3 E and a 4. Oh, 1 and a 2 triplet, 3 E and a 4. Yeah. Right. In terms of orchestration, we're going high tom, snare, snare. 1 and a. It's written as right, right, left, right, right, left. Do whatever you want, but that's how it's written. 2 triplet, snare, high tom, low tom, 2 triplet. So far we've got 1 and a 2 triplet. And then the next one's a 16th note phrase, but it kind of does the same thing again. 3 E and a, but just puts the bass on the end. So the triplet, 2 triplet, and then 3 E and a, 2 triplet. Then we end with a flam. Whole bar, 1 and a 2 triplet, 3 E and a. I'm gonna loop it. 1 and a 2 triplet, 3 E and a 4. Alright, so let me play a bit quicker with the groove. Alright. You know, do you see there? Like, this is all about progressions, little steps, little progressions. So if we learn all of these things separately, bring them together. So at the end there, my little progression there, once you get comfortable with the feel, you could say, right, I'm going to do the flam between, like that last note between the floor tom and the snare, or like I started doing it with a snare and a cymbal. Or at one point, I think I did, so I actually did 16th notes here, 40 and a flam bass, which was a fill we looked at earlier. So you just start doing these little progressions and taking things to the next step. And that's how it just grows. You keep evolving and exploring these ideas. How many ideas am I giving you? I'm giving you 4. So, you know, if you've got to go and, like, you know, get on with your life or eat some dinner or whatever, we're nearly there. This one's really easy, actually. It's just right, left, right, kick, which we did in the last fill. And it just repeats it. And then flam on beat 4. And again, just trying different stuff out on beat 4. You know, I was just filling up beat 4 with some other notes instead of doing a flam. So again, once you get comfortable with the fill, you can do that. Now, nice easy one for you. Do you remember all the way back at the beginning? It wasn't even at the beginning. but you know the one. Flam bass, flam bass, flam bass, flam bass. Yeah. You can never go wrong with a flam bass type fill. But we can move those flams around. Yeah. And did you hear that? Well, I opened those up to 16, like we talked about earlier. So again, just little variations you can throw in. And at one point in there, I did the that other phrasing we did with the flam. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So again, move that around. That could work as a cool beat, actually. Let me give you that. Yeah, so, you know, just explore the ideas. You never know where they're going to take you. Right, I don't want you to get upset, but this is the last one. You either get upset or a little sigh of relief came out, maybe. So yeah, now this is using an accent phrasing from earlier on. So I'm just kind of progressing the same ideas here. So do you remember we did 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E? Do you remember that? You remember that? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. All right. But we're going to move the accent on the tom. So what we're going to do, the first two, it's the right hand and the left hand are going to be up here. Up here. And the quiet notes are all on the snare. So we're going to go 1 E and a 2 E and a. So coming down onto the floor tom with the right hand. 1 E and a 2 E. If I loop it. Oh yeah. Second half goes 3 E and a 4 E and a. So we're now going to move the accents to go. So it goes 3 E and a 4 E and a. Notice the right hand doesn't do anything between those two. So it doesn't have to come back to snare. It can just move between there. So 3 E and a 4 E. 3 E and a 4 E and a. Right. Whole bar. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So we can start. Well, let's put it with a beat. So that's all the examples there. Now, what I want to say about this last one is when you start to do it a bit more randomly, so like these one accent notes coming out instead of doing two or you know, like or doing something predictable. This is much more random now. It's very free, so you can put those anywhere. So like I've been saying with some of the other stuff, you really want to get to the point where you can just improvise these things. So you could do that exercise. I did it earlier, to give you an example, right? I did it earlier just with the snare drum, where I played a groove for a bar, fill for a bar, groove for a bar, fill for a bar, and every fill had to have a different accent pattern. Do you remember that? So next stage of that is we do it, but we can use all the toms as well. So I'll just do that. so on and so forth. Yeah, you could just go on all day like that. If we extended that, so not one bar of fill, it can actually become the start of a solo. So we'll just play that sort of thing. Again, you just go on all day doing the same stuff. It sounds like there's tons going on, but it's not. It's just 16th notes, single strip roll, and moving those accents around the kit in different ways. Right, so then the final thing really with this, and these are, like I say, these are all progressions. If you're brand new to some of this stuff, then just the first fills we did today, really, really slow, are going to keep you busy for a while, and that's cool. We've all got to go through this process. But and we're all at different stages. So if you're ready to start improvising this now, great. If you're not, the time will come. Just work on this. But I want you to kind of see the progressions you can take it on. Because just being able to play freely and flow around the kits, that's where it's at. That's the fun bit, right? So just to kind of put ideas together from today, I'm just going to, this feels maybe more of a kind of extended solo thing. Like I just did really, but maybe incorporating some different subdivisions. Chucking in some flams and drags and things. I don't know, 20 seconds. 20 seconds, just see what happens. Yeah, cool. So, I don't know, 30 seconds, whatever that was. But, hopefully you could recognize a lot of the stuff I was doing there is stuff we've broken down today. Stuff that we've done. There might have been some other things, there were a few other bits and bobs chucked in there. But again, they're just things that you learn individually and they go into the mix. They become part of your vocabulary. And then, why am I out of breath from that? And then, when you come to just improvise fills or solos or whatever, you just draw on all of those ideas you've worked on previously. So I hope it makes sense. You need to grab the sheet music so you can work on these below. Oh, and if you want to check, if you enjoyed this, we do these, we do these pretty much every week in the Total Drummer Academy. So click below. Even just click it because there's a really fun little gamified thing in there, which I hope you'll like. And actually, if you're thinking of jumping in, you can just jump in with a free trial and just come and check it out free. But if you did a little spinny game thing when you click through, it who knows? You might get a free prize. You might get a nice little discount to come in. Who knows what the prize will be? You have to click below and check it out. If you do have any questions on this, even if you're not here live, you're not here now, you might have some questions later, just drop me an email. And I'll be happy to answer those. But to grab the sheet music and go and practice.